Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here and welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to talk about the bug fixes that need to be done until the next patch and kind of the expectations that people have out of this game, that I have out of this game, and things that could improve this. I like to do this kind of video before kind of every patch, but at the same time I don't like to do it too close to the patch. So that's what we're gonna get into today. Also, huge thanks to Carol. He or she's been helping me a lot to do those patch changes lists. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, and let me know in the comments if you have missed any bugs or if there's any other changes you would like to see implemented. I'm gonna start with the bugs that need to get fixed, and pretty much the worst one that's currently in the game is the puppet not properly working. What do I mean by not properly working? The tagout disabled negative effect is no longer gonna get applied, which makes it very inconvenient to keep puppet active for a lot of characters, because you need 5 negative effects at any point for infinite power to be active. And you have 5 negative effects from puppets, only one of them does not exist, but the puppet is still gonna apply it. So no longer you, not only you have one missing negative effect, but you have one guaranteed misfire of a level 10 puppet. So this should really get fixed, because it's so inconvenient to use puppet on most characters because of that. There's also a little bit of a bug with Zatanna, where she's gonna give you a little bit of damage buff, and she's gonna power steal whenever she applies a negative effect. And there are points when she applies a negative effect but doesn't power steal and doesn't give you a damage buff. Mine can misfire regardless because it's only 4 stars, but this happens with a 7-star Zatanna as well, so that's not really acceptable. There is something somewhat wrong with Battleflaft's percentage shell damage, like you're still getting to do all of it and you're getting to do all of it reasonably fast, but it takes just a slight bit longer than it did previously. Don't know what's the cause of that, but that might be worth looking into as well. What you're seeing here is a pretty damn annoying bug that can also happen. So after you, this is not a new league by the way, after you finish a higher tier league rates, there's a possibility, though I didn't see this happen too often or too many people complaining about it, but it is a possibility that you finish the raid, and then when you try to start a new raid, the only option available is going to be a tier 1 raids. So it basically backtracks you and locks everything, because as far as I'm aware, in order to unlock the higher rates, you're gonna need to complete the previous lower difficulty league rates at least once. So yeah, that's a thing apparently, where it goes all the way up to tier 1. Look, a little bit of a thing that could fix this and not have this ever happen in the future: unlock all the difficulties for everybody in the game, because if they're not in a properly organized league with enough players and they start a higher tier by mistake, they're not gonna have a good time regardless in that league. So it's better that they find out faster that they actually need people to play with, because there's a lot of people that are gonna try and start league rates on their own, and they might get a little bit of hope from the tier 1 being easier. So yeah, just make it so that everybody, even in a new league, can start the highest tier of Soul Ride, because this makes it very inconvenient when you have a league that's full but more people want to join and you want to start a secondary league. You have to take it all the way from tier 1. But yeah, this is a little bit of an issue that should get fixed. This is a thing that I've been talking about for a long time, and it's still relevant to talk about because this has not been fixed. Some characters, when you tag them in and out in the fight, are gonna have a higher cooldown of tagging than other characters, and I don't think that's intended. I think that's a bug that's been going on for years at this point. The characters that affect are going to be Just Like Flash, Flora Poison Ivy, Mythic Wonder Woman, Dark Supergirl, and Ace Green Arrow. Kind of the most relevant out of them is going to be Just Like Flash. But yeah, I have no idea why they take longer to tag, and I don't think it should be that way. A little bit more on Batman Who Laughs, but not the character, the boss Batman Who Laughs. He's got a weird thing where he drops his madness, but that's gonna become invisible at some point. But even though it's invisible and you don't see it, you don't think it's there, you're still gonna acquire madness and get randomly turned over. So yeah, maybe fix the invisibility of the madness thing on boss Batman Who Laughs. Thank you very much. Just like Cyborg's passive, other than giving you some damage for the Just Like teammates, is gonna get 3 power bars when getting targeted by a stun, and it's gonna be immune to stun. The immune to stun side of things works, but it's no longer gaining the power bars, so that kinda sucks. Last but not least, all the robbing characters get still interrupted on Taggins. I mean, not Robin King, because he's not using the Robin AI, but like Pet Ninja Robin, Blade Master Robin, Silver Robin, you're gonna want to tag in with them, and you're gonna get hit on tagging, which sucks. And other than that, there are some general minor bugs where you're gonna get some glitches on the home screen that don't have any at the moments, and you're gonna get some glitches in soul rates, like the Raven missing the sound of dying and Advent of Chaos soul rates. So yeah, overall some tidying up of those things would be useful, but they definitely don't take priority over other stuff. Now we're gonna get into things and changes that I want and that people want, and I have been asking for a long time, and other people have been asking about them for a long time. We're gonna start with leagues, and I'm gonna pretty much stay in this window because if I show the league codes, people are gonna try and randomly enter, and that's not the way to join a league. Look in the description, you have a link that literally says click here if you need to join a league, and it's gonna take you to a Discord with good people that are gonna take care of you in that regard. But moving back to this, so the leagues could use a few improvements. First of all, it's gonna be in the shard request department, because bro, 10 shards a day takes absolute ages to do anything with. Increase the amounts that you can donate per day to like 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100, but 10 is not doing it, and that's currently the only way in the game to do absolutely anything with extra shards. So yeah, that could use a change. Also, adding some gem rewards for the completion of league raids would be a pretty good way to get people back to playing them, because I would rather play league raids than arena for gems, but the league raids rewards are pretty much worthless for me at this point, and they're worthless for a lot of people. Maybe even add some soul raid artifact drops to the league raid rewards. They're just not rewarding when you finish them. They are somewhat fun to play, but they're not rewarding, and that's the biggest problem currently with league raids. Also with the league mission, the whole league mission side of things could use a rework, because the rewards are so damn low that it's not worth claiming them. I'm not claiming them ever. And even if they don't increase the rewards, at least the claim all button, because you have like different stages of a dimension. Let's say the mission has 6 goddamn stages, and you're gonna click on each one of them, wait for it to load. It loads very slowly when you're in the league interface, per usual. So yeah, there's a little bit of a problem with that too. And that's about it for leagues. That's kind of the minimum necessary changes I would like to see here. Now getting to soul raids, and oh boy, soul raids. So first of all, since we're on the topic here, why do I still not split passive stats in Dawn of Apocalypse? Is there any logical reason of that? And if you're gonna say because the bosses have lower health than our soul raids, I don't value your opinion at all, because it doesn't matter, it doesn't make a difference. It's gonna be 4 times lower than our soul rates, and you know there's something wrong with that, since the lower health of the bosses definitely doesn't make up for that. So make the passive stats split in Dawn of Apocalypse as well. Second of all, add the chance to get Darkseid and Collector of Words Superman in Dawn of Apocalypse and Rise of Krypton, because those are the only 2 soul rates that don't drop absolutely any legendary shards. And funny enough, they are kind of the worst legendary characters for soul rate and the raid performance out of all the legendary characters in the game, so you're not missing much or giving people a lot by giving those 2, but exactly those 2 cannot drop, which just is weird. Second of all, people are tired. I am tired of keep getting the same goddamn free artifact over and over and over and over again in the heroic difficulties. Like, I was happy with the first firebox I got, then I was happy for the second firebox I got, because I was like, I can put one on Dr. Fate to do the infinite combo and one on King to deal damage. Third firebox was like, I guess I might do something with this, but at this point I think I'm somewhere at the 10th firebox, and what am I gonna do with those? Make it so that the normal mode is gonna have this type of featured artifact for free, maybe even Heroic 1 modes, and then add this artifact along with all the other artifacts in kind of a reward pool for the tier 5, and have a guarantee to get any of the specific soul raid artifacts that are featured. Like any of them, like let's say I am here in Heroic 7, all of the Dawn of Apocalypse artifacts are going to share an equal chance with the firebox to drop. I can drop an Entropy, I can drop all kinds of things. Because this is still a lot, extremely a lot slower than just buying the artifacts from the store, but at least it gives a way to somewhat grind them for the free-to-play side of things. If you get unlucky, you might finish Rise of Krypton like 20 times and still not get Beta Club, but you're gonna still grind it for the realistic and visible chance to get that specific artifact you want to get. And I think it would make things far more rewarding and far more entertaining, because a lot of the artifacts, a lot of random artifacts, for example, I'm not gonna go and go into the artifacts, but for example, the Trigon Staff, it's a fun artifact, it's a very good artifact in Arena and Champions Arena, I like that artifact. Then there's LexCorp Warsuit, that's completely useless in raids and stories, but it's fine in Arena. There's a lot of artifacts that people can have fun with, but are not justifiable spending money trying to get them. So this will bring to everybody the fun of the new artifacts that get added with each new soul raids. Another thing would be to give some gems in the soul raids as well, which would be fine in Heroics as well. I don't think it's that mandatory. Of course, it would be nice, but I think the main problem is the legendary drops and the artifacts. Also, the legendary side of things, I can't show it to you now because this one doesn't really drop a legendary. I'm not sure if you heard a weird sound because the cat just scratched himself against the microphone. What was I talking about? Yeah, the artifact drops could be fixed, and that would definitely get things a bit better in that regard. And the legendary drops just suck. They also don't give you a sense of progression. I can't show it to you because I don't have an legendary drop in Dawn of Apocalypse, but it's gonna be the same chance for all heroics. It's gonna be like 1%, 3% in normal, and then I think 15% in each heroic. And it doesn't give you the sense of progression. Why am I getting the same chance of getting Raven as I was getting in Heroic 1 like 1 year ago when I was back then? In that soul raid, I played it for so long, I grinded so many heroics, and I still get the same chance of getting Raven. Make it increase, make the chance of dropping shards for legendary characters increase with heroics, maybe even make them guaranteed in Heroic 7, but make them at least bigger as you advance so people get a better sense of progression. Since the Heroic 7 repeats itself on and on again, you gotta give people reason to repeat that Heroic 7 on and on again. And also another thing I want to briefly touch on while we are in these soul raids, but that might not be necessarily tied to soul raids, but could be introduced there. We have a big problem with the reforges. So there's the green reforges with the gears. The normal gear reforges that you roll the first 3 bonuses on the gears are no longer a problem since the soul raid. That has been fixed. They're no longer really that needed. I mean, keep them. Don't throw them away. I'm not saying throw those away, but put somewhere, I don't care where, in Arena, in League raids, in Soul raids, put the 2 types of new reforges that nobody's interacting with because they are too rare, put them there. So we got the artifact reforges and the 4th gear bonus reforge. The 4th gear bonus reforge I don't care about too much since, I mean, giving easier access to them will help perfect builds, and they're extremely hard to get currently. You get the chance to get one whenever you shatter a gear that's above level 60. I shattered around 100 gears that are above level 60, and I get like 4 of them. That's not worth my effort of shattering those gears. But getting more of those would make that system better. In the artifact reforges, the artifact bonuses is a fun system and quite an interactive system that nobody uses kind of 2 years after it's been introduced in the game, because they're barely giving any for free. They want you to buy the goddamn bundles from the store, so store raids would be a nice place where we could have that introduced. And yeah, that's gonna kind of finish it with soul raids, but let's move on. Okay, so Arena has 2 problems. First of all, the Arena store. Tell me, what can I buy from here, guys? What can I buy from here? Any of the characters that I have already maxed out? Or any of the gears for the characters, which I own all the gears for at this point? What am I gonna do with my currency over here? This is literally the only currency in the game that I'm unable to spend. And I have nothing to look towards because of it. Puts XP capsules in the Arena store, so people can endlessly have a source of spending their Arena currency. I've been saying this for like 2 years. Why is this so hard to implement? Like, I'm not asking to give every legendary in the game for free, I'm just asking for some goddamn XP capsules in the arena. So why is this so hard? Why are we not getting this? Instead of that, since then we got this thing where you have Aquaman here, and you click show, and wow, look at all the gears appearing. I don't give a crap about this. I don't give a crap about the UI improvements they did here, because they didn't add XP capsules, and doing that would have been 10 times better than this. Which I mean, it's good that we have it. It's, excuse me, it's a bit smoother, but I don't think it serves that much of a purpose. Just add XP capsules. The second problem is people are gonna get into this game, play for a bit, then quit, and then let's say a movie comes out, the Blue Beetle, and they add the Blue Beetle legendary character in the game. And people are gonna be like, oh, I wanna play as the new Blue Beetle from the movie. The game in Just 2 Mobile had it, let's get back into it. And they get back into it onto an account that they haven't played on for 2 years. And they're gonna encounter people that have been constantly playing throughout that period. They're absolutely smashing Arena. And because of how the arena system works, they're gonna have to compete with those people for the arena rewards. And it's just a vicious cycle, because to do better in arena, you're gonna need more characters and more teams. How do you get more teams and more characters? By getting at least Elite 1 in arena and getting those shards. And that's the problem. People just can't get back into the game because their arenas are too hard. And here's my idea for that, because I'm not sure how doable it will be for them to rework the arena brackets and stuff like that. Guys, if you don't know, let me briefly explain this too, so it makes more sense, though I've explained it a lot of times. There are multiple arena brackets in the game where you're going to be paired with people that have made an account roughly at the same period of time in which you have made that account. And you're going to be competing directly against them to get those ranks. Legendary, Invincible, this is going to be, I think, the top 50 legendary. You're going to be competing against them. So it's going to be a bit rough for you coming back after a long time in an arena that has a lot of people in it that have been playing constantly. And whenever they feel like it, they create a new arena where all the new players, after the point the arena was created and until the point the new one is created, are going to be placed. I'm not sure how viable it is to change that system. And I think rather than changing that system is to change the way that you get the rewards here. So we have the tier rewards and the milestone rewards. Rework the milestone rewards so it no longer counts on the victories, but it counts on the amount of points, and have some point requirements. For example, the last reward is not going to be after 50 victories, but it's going to be after 5 million points, because that's reasonable to do. You're going to make them immediately when you have a higher account, and you're going to be able to grind them out eventually when you have a newer account. Let's say the last tier is at 5 mil points. Now we move on here, and we still have the system here, but the character shards are gonna be removed from here and put in the new milestone reward system, so that there's still the sense of competition and competing with each other and getting gems and this useless thing that I can spend, but you're not gonna feel cheated, and you're not gonna get stuck, because you're gonna get characters just by grinding, regardless of the other people's progress. And you're each season gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger, because as long as you play the game, you're gonna be guaranteed to have the character. You might get some gems, you might not get some gems, you might get a good rank for gems, you might not, but at least you're getting the characters. So I really advocate for moving the character into the milestone system, and maybe reworking it, maybe not. I don't even care. If you're gonna give a 4-star character for a person who has 50 victories against any threat team, I don't care. Do that. But this will help people a lot get unstuck when coming back to a new account. That's gonna be about it for the arena changes. Let's move on. Next up on the topic of the versus challenges, what is this garbage? Who is excited for the cheetah challenge? Let me know in the comments. Are you guys excited this is in the game? Are you guys excited this came back? It's gonna be up for 2 days, so you still have time to grind your cheetah shards if you're not aware. But yeah, there's a lot of garbage that nobody asked for, that is bad, and nobody uses in the versus challenges. So why not add some more of the garbage characters that nobody cares about and nobody will make an active effort to get and are not making you any money in those challenges? Like, for example, Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. Like, for example, Enchantress. Like, for example, Martian Manhunter. Can we get some challenges for the bad legendary characters? or maybe for some other characters that are somewhat useful, but are generally speaking easier to get, so people are not spending money on them anyway? Can we get the gears on the Batman Ninja challenges? Can we get some of that League of Anarchy challenges back? There's so many things that could go right with the challenges, but they're going wrong currently. Like, for example, the Cheetah challenge. But yeah, let's move on. Actually, let's not move on. Also, the challenges are kind of boring. Like, you farm them once, and then you can just sim them, you get your shards. It's kind of uninteractive. What I think we should have instead is, like, same thing, 3 difficulties. You need to beat the previous difficulty to unlock the next difficulty, but and you can also farm them with sims after you have completed them, maybe. I'm not sure how that will work with the system I want to propose, but I want to propose to have a little bit of a boss system as we do have in Soul Raids. Instead of fighting a team that Cheetah is a part of, we should have a Cheetah boss that has like stronger and stronger modifiers as we go with further difficulty, but not a Cheetah boss, because I don't want Cheetah. I don't want to be fighting Cheetah or playing as Cheetah, but yeah, a little bit of a better system in that regard, I guess. I don't know. But mainly just add some proper characters in the challenges. The resource missions, where you get mainly XP capsules, there's a day when you get credits. But they are kind of underwhelming, and the amount of XP capsules you get in general is definitely not keeping up with the level that the characters can have now. The level 80, it was barely keeping up whenever you had level 70 characters. We need more ways to get more XP capsules, and adding more of those missions or higher tier, increasing the rewards for them would definitely be a lot better. Next problem, what do I do with my 10,000 Swamp Thing shards? Please let me know if anybody working at NetherRealms, at developing Injustice Mobile, is watching this in the comments. Let me know what I should do with those shards. I got 11,000, I'm willing to donate them if anybody is interested. But yeah, the point is, there are a lot of additional shards in the game for a lot of... Look, next up is Cheetah with also 11k shards out of the maximum amount of shards. What am I supposed to do with those shards? Donate them to my league mates? Do you think anybody wants those? I want a way to convert shards, because now I can convert some of my other shards into Cheetah shards, but why would I do that? What I want to do is to be able to convert this 11,000 shards into something. For example, out of 11,000 shards, if I could convert at the rate of 100 for 1 into class shards, so I can make those 11,000 shards into, let's say, 110 prismatic shards with agility. No complaints about it. Absolutely best system ever. Best change ever. Even if you give me a rate of 100 to 1 and convert them in that class specific shards, I'm gonna be happy with it. But make a way to be able to do something with the additional shards. They're just sitting there for absolutely no reason. Something I talked about in a previous video, I mean most things I talked about in the previous video about the next update, but yeah, upgrade this is Fear of the Gods Shazam, not Gold Shazam, so upgrade the passives of characters at 7 stars that don't have them at 7 stars. So what's the point of getting my Justice Aquaman to 7 stars if his passive is not gonna go to 7 stars, it's not gonna have a level 7? Because for example, those things got upgraded for all the way to level 80 whenever we got a level 80 update, but for the star rating, most characters in the game have level 5 passives, level 5 max passives, and that sucks and it's lame. And for most characters, it wouldn't be the biggest thing to upgrade those passives at the 7th level, but it would be something a bit more fun, a bit more interesting. I could be able to generate a bit more power when blocking with my Nightwing, for example. I would be able to get a bit more fast attack damage out of my Silver Black Canary, for example. I could, I don't know, but the thing is, it's not a big thing if they were to upgrade those to level 7, but it might have some unexpected effects. You might be more enticed to play some other characters you would have never played. Like this man can only start with a minimum of 7 combo. Let's say at 7 stars it can start with a minimum of 10 combo, and at that point that's already pretty decent. Maybe I'll use this man as a combo builder. It's not a huge deal, and for most characters will not be a huge deal, but it's something that will... It's the simplest way to put a breath of fresh air into the game, basically. and make people retry and revisit new things. And on that topic, a lot of characters could use reworks, but they are really not caring about reworks too much, because they don't make money. New character releases are the thing that make money. So yeah, that's about it with the passives. We would love level 7 passives, and we would love some new character reworks. Maybe add a new character and rework to previous ones, like adding somebody who's in the Justice League, in the Teen Titans team, and rework Unbreakable Cyborg and Starfire or some stuff like that. I don't know, man, but we could really use some refreshing on those old characters. The talent reroll system is frustrating and awful. That's why I have so many credits, because I'm not gonna be able to justify the time in the day to get those epic talents. Because to get all epic talents of a character that I have no epic talents on, and to get the desired ones, not some random ones, it will be a process that will most likely take away 2 hours of my life, and I have the credits to roll it, but I have better things to do with my life, like live it, than just look at the screen and press reroll, reroll, reroll again and again. Okay, we'll take this, it's a rare. But my point is, there could be a far better system here. Like, of course, leave the rerolls in there, but also give me the ability to pay for talents. Let's say I want to change this, and there's a system. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Darktide. Darktide is a shooter where you have a talent where you can also get some stuff from the gears. Hold on a second, I'll actually show you my point because it ties into the talent reroll system. Okay, this is a crafting system in another game, and as you can see here, I have some bonuses, as are the Injustice 2 Mobile bonuses. I mean, they're different, but they worked previously on the same system, where you had to roll on and on again until you got what you wanted. But people were like, the developers were like, we actually respect people's time and we want their time in this game to be actually enjoyable. Nobody's gonna enjoy rolling 10,000 times to get the desired bonus. So now you can just click this, and if you want to swap it, you can select from all the bonuses available. Doesn't this save a lot of time? Isn't this a lot more enjoyable to interact with? And for a sum of resources, you can just pick whatever bonuses you want. That's what I want to see in Injustice Mobile. Like, make it so that I have to even pay 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, I'll pay even 5 mil credits for the epic talent I want, but make me get that thing specifically, because the biggest issue is not the money to reroll the talents, it is the time, and that is time in which people are playing your game and not enjoying it, and that's not what you want. Champions Arena is lame, and yeah, I know I'm in the lowest division, but if you search on my channel, I have a video where I grind all the way to the first tier of Champions Arena just to prove a point that it's still lame, because everybody puts garbage defensive teams, and you're gonna fight garbage defensive teams, and who gets the most points in the higher tiers right now? Nobody gets points in this one, but in the higher tier points, whoever gets points is the person who has the most free time and likes doing that with their lives, of endlessly fighting again and again, garbage after garbage after garbage after garbage defensive team. And they did a small step in the right direction, where if your defensive team actually wins, you're gonna get some points because of that. But that is not enough. They need to make it so that if your defensive team loses, you're also gonna lose an amount of points. So people are actually incentivized to put proper defensive teams. And this game mode is actually relevant in terms of gameplay, because the rewards are good. I'm not gonna complain about the rewards. Grinding all the way to the highest tier changed my mind a bit on the rewards. The rewards from Champions Arena are nice, but the whole gameplay loop is garbage, because you're just gonna fight trash team after trash team after trash team in your endless grind for points. And yeah, there's new game modes that could be introduced, there's new stuff that could be introduced, but I wanted to focus on improving the things that we already have in the game in this video. Also, very good idea that I read in what Carol sent me, was that, you know how they do the double XP events, which are garbage because most people got level 80 with the bug that was at that time in the game, and Even so, having a higher level on your account is one of the least relevant things I've seen in any game in this game. What they could do is have a double gem event where you're gonna get double gems in Arena and Champions Arena. More like in Arena, because in Champions Arena it's hard to manage that with 7-day season. But let's say there's a special season here that's gonna give you double the gems or double the Arena medals or stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, but other than that, there could be new characters introduced, new game modes, older character reworked, but I try to focus myself on things we already got in the game that could be improved. So that being said, let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. Thanks so much for watching. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. Thanks so much, Carol, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!